on, everybody? This is Romy Mack, and welcome to another episode of The Locker Room. It's been a while since we've done an episode with The Locker Room. A lot of things been happening, but I feel like it's the perfect time right before the football season. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. I'm back again with my man, my dog, the homie, the masked villain, doing his thing. We call him Karoom Base. You understand me? Karumbe in the building. What's going on, dog?
Not much, man. You know what it is.
Yeah. So anyway, man, we got we talk about McGregory, as I like to call him. So we saw the fight. I don't know if you got to see the fight just yet. I don't know if I sent you. I sent you the link so you can see it.
I saw the fight. I watched it when it was happening.
Oh, okay. You watched it when it was happening. Overall, it was entertaining for me. I thought it was pretty cool. Me not really being much of a boxing fan, I learned to appreciate Floyd Mayweather by the end of the match. From what I saw, because he's always known for being a defensive, fighter. He's by far one of the best defensive fighters I've ever seen. Play the do the thing. So it was very interesting, to like see him do what he did, and very interested to see Conor McGregor with these damn hammer punches, on top of his head, man. He totally just knew he was in the cage, but what do you expect a guy that comes from UFC all these years to come into the boxing ring? Expect him to run by boxing rules. But overall, like I said, it was entertaining. The fights before, the midget fight they had before with Davis, Floyd's fighter, clipping niggas and shit. It was entertaining to say the least, man. But Karumbe, what you think about the fight?
Man, they were like a huge amount of fucking people that thought Floyd Mayweather was gonna lose. And Floyd Mayweather know how to get the great white hopes, and he know how to get the dang on the Hispanic people the cheer for somebody he gonna beat. He a master in it. Then come to find out Floyd Mayweather betted on his own fight. He gave somebody some money to bet because he tried to do it himself. That's illegal.
Yeah, that's Pete Rose shit.
Gave somebody money to bet on the fight for him. So I'm like, this. And he knocked him out in a round that he said he was going to knock him out. So pretty much, McGregor was in there only because Floyd wanted to get paid some extra money.
Yeah, that's some Pete Rose shit
Yo, not only that, because I'm like, man, I'm all in this shit. Like, he didn't use no shoulder rolls to get a shoulder roll fighter. He fought him with an open guard and all this other shit, man. I was just like, then one of my boys was like trying to say McGregor was like hanging in there. I'm like, no, he only in there because he let him in there. I couldn't stand it, man.
I thought it was fun.
I knew it was a bunch of junk. I guarantee Conor McGregor betted on Floyd Mayweather to win.
Well, he just got paid. Shit. Either way, that's what it boiled down to. Both of these motherfuckers got paid.
And they were dumb people that like paid for the fights and bet. I can't believe it. Like 100%. There were more people that went for Conor McGregor than they went with Pacquiao for him. Are you that? It's that close. Are you fucking that stupid?
Well, what's interesting about the shit is that McGregory. We talked about this yesterday, man. How the fact that Conor McGregor, a lot of people wanted Floyd to lose on a lot of levels, a lot of factors. A lot of people that definitely against domestic violence because Floyd does have a history of that shit, and that's understandable. But there are a lot of people that as far as like the trash talking, like, oh, Floyd talks too much. Conor talks just as much, but you want that motherfucker to win. I don't know what the difference is in that regards, but
hey, you know what the difference is.
Yeah, of course, Yeah, it's the privilege, the privilege you have, it just looks better. It's like the same thing goes with the cornrow shit. It's like when it's on us, it's forbidden. You know what I'm saying? The cornrow shit, that shit is ghetto, is hood, or the new term, or ratchet or some shit. But when it goes with Kim Kardashian or Miley Cyrus get that shit, this is a new fad or some shit that's popping, or or Ashley Graham. Ashley Graham's sexy as shit, by the way, thick ass. But it's just interesting, how society perceives shit, man. But I saw, McGregor got a few hits in, so I'll give him that much credit, man. I got to see
Man, you see those hits was like love taps, man.
Yeah, well, I got to see my favorite player in the match, who was a trainer and just happens to be Floyd's father, Floyd Mayweather Sr., my man that created the greatest term I've ever heard this year, called McGregory. That's what we call him. McGregory can be used for anything. It don't matter what it is. We can be talking about, I don't know, about ice cream, man. Let me go ahead and get that vanilla McGregory, or like that rainbow McGregory, rainbow sherbet, however the fuck you want to say it, and you feel like
so is McGregory an adjective?
I don't know. We can use it for anything. That's what I love about McGregory. It's a noun, it's an adjective, it's anything you want it to be. Because, like, if let's say we was watching a WWE event, and then I don't know, Roman Reigns does that spear shit. Oh, he got McGregory or some shit like that. I don't know, music wise, what I'm saying, we listen to like a Jeezy album, and that shit sound McGregory, goddammit. Yeah, that shit there. Goddamn fucking McGregory. But no, it was just I just thought it was too funny for me. It just when I heard him say it, it reminded me of like being in a barbershop and hearing like that older black guy that don't really know how to pronounce everybody's name and shit, but he just so confident in what he's saying. Like, man, Canelo would knock Conor McGregory out. So it's all in fun with that, man. But shout outs to both fighters, man. I'm a fan of both of them now. Officially a fan of Mayweather. I was watching more UFC than boxing recently, because boxing has been roughly like a sport of the past, along with baseball. But I feel like in a couple of years we might be saying something different.
Nah, it's changing now, man, because it's a lot of super fights.
Yeah,
I say it was Floyd has gotten out. People they have to fight each other now for belts, so they beginning to see that. So people are more like in tune to fight each other now. Oh man, Well, we want to see people. We want to see people come out and go at it, man. That's what it's called. It's a fight, baby. It's like after school, 3 o'clock. I'm more of a boxing fan, man. I like the respect for boxers.
Yeah. I get you all that. Yeah, dodge and be able to duck and defend yourself and all that shit. But we definitely want to see some good jabs, some nice hooks, and if you can sneak in an uppercut or two, let's go. That punching below the belt shit, cool out. And that hugging. This
next fight is gonna be a big one. Canelo versus Al.
Yeah, Triple Jeezy. Triple Jeezy.
Versus Triple G.
Yeah, that Triple
G, aka Triple G.
Yeah. I saw a meme. That shit said, "Man, Floyd gonna knock Mayweather ass out." I was like, "Kill yourself." What you talking about, man? That was too funny for me. Seeing that on online. The internet is undefeated. The internet will remain undefeated. I don't care what happens. You gotta try to make sure you cross every T and dot every I, because if you don't, you will get got. No one is above a meme. Nobody in the world. And again, we'll probably talk about this Friday, but damn, Joel Osteen, what you doing, man? How the hell you gonna have a mega church that used to be a basketball arena and say that you don't have any, that you closing the doors, you're not letting in hurricane survivors? How does that work?
His story's constantly changing, so like it ain't real.
Yeah,
it's changed so much recently.
I don't know, man. I just think it was kind of bogus how he handled that situation, and it.
And like a lot of those people handle it.
Yeah, of course, but it's about God, though. This is about you working for God.
As long as they pockets getting laced,
you didn't anticipate this storm was coming. So it's easy to talk all that shit, as far as like how you feel about, people of faith and all that. But when it comes down to it, that's when you find out who people are. Now you got smaller churches who are letting people in out there in Houston, but a mega church that can seat I don't know. I mean, that's the Houston Rockets used to have that arena. So, come on now. You can put some people in. And it was talking about like the first floor was flooded or some shit like that. Man, if you don't find a way to get people inside, it's raining outside, man. And this shit was wild, you know. I saw a sister on CNN, man, and they came up to, and she was so fucking real with them, man. I loved it, cause she was like, you know, you guys coming up here with this microphone and cameras in our face, and still got the cameras in our face. My child is cold. I had to cross 4 feet of water just to get, you know, my child something to eat, and here y'all are still in my face recording. Like, you know, just calling CNN on their bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, we gotta figure something. We gotta figure something out, man.
But that's how news is, man. They gotta like report the.
Yeah, I mean, no, I totally understand. She doing her job. That's what she get paid to do.
Yeah,
you know, she trying to make.
They want to see like news is really not based on good stuff, man.
It's above her pay grade. Who's in charge of sending her out there to do that? You know, it's somebody sitting in a cozy ass place that's not only gets wet from, like, you know, your usual casual rainstorm, instead of somebody that's out there in a, you know, like in a poncho trying to talk to, you know, hurricane survivors about, you know, how they feel about out there. I mean, you're asking very I would say rhetorical you know, questions to because we already know the answer of what they're dealing with, man. I think the death toll now is up to like 20. They're at the 20 now, but death toll. And it's sad, man. You know, to look at this shit. It's and you know, Kevin Hart doing a real good job, you know, starting the whole 25,000 you know, challenge to give to Houston. But if these guys are millionaires, again, I don't control nobody's pockets but my own, and I'm a thousandaire right now. You know what I mean? So, but millionaires, right? So what is 25,000 to a millionaire?
Nothing.
So if it's nothing, then why wouldn't we give more than that?
Because man, like, that's why I say, no offense to people who donate and do charities and stuff, but a lot of the times that just be bullshit, man. These are people who got tons of money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, you gotta load.
They'll spend $20,000 on a fucking chain. You know what I'm saying?
There's people that won't make. There's people in America that won't ever make $1 million in their life, but you have multiple millions of dollars. So if it's good enough for them to live, why wouldn't we give more than that? I mean, like I said, it's easy for me to say that. Somebody could use this against me at a later time when my income increases, but you know, I just those are just things I wonder. You know, obviously when we bring a light to, you know, bring attention to that shit. You know, the Kardashian family, they're donating $500,000, you know, between the, I don't know, all 7 women, including Bruce. Let me see.
Brucina?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you know. Again, for all the LGBT listeners and all of that, I have nothing against you. I don't understand transgender, and it's not for me to understand. That's, you know, I always leave that disclaimer out there. We mean no disrespect. I hope you get to do everything, you know, that everybody else does. I mean, besides the military paying for your surgery, because don't need to do that. Military.
I think you should join the UFC on my part and get in the women's division. But
that would be scary as fuck. Imagine that shit.
He still ain't gonna be Cyborg if he did, though. Just to let you know.
Yeah. That's stupid, man. You know, but no, but this situation in Houston, definitely, man. You know, send shouts out to everybody out there to you know, that's going through this shit right now. You know, hopefully your 45 can come back out there with his wife with the fucking heels on, the stilettos, as people going through struggles. You know, that's how we get down. And he's talking out there like it's a campaign and shit. How about you just help folks? You know what I'm saying?
45 got problems all day, man. He got Korea acting a plum fucking fool.
I don't know, man. He got
45 got some problems on his hands, boy. That boy got some problems. Now you see what it is. When you talk about the president before you see how the job is when you actually got to do the job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just can't. Everything is scrutinized. He realized that now, so yeah. Enjoy that.
Yeah, he got to get it together.
Yeah, I don't I don't think it's his fault with North Korea. They just tripping, bro. They really tripping right now.
Matter of fact, Madden. Yeah, so Madden came out, man, and it was cool. They got this new mode called the Long Shot, and basically you take on this character. His name is Devin Wade, and he's from Texas. Coincidentally, shit's going on in Texas right now. Texas is the real focus of a lot of things that's happening in the news, and then they got a video game that comes out around the very same time that has something to do with Texas. I don't, that's the conspiracy theory in me working a little bit, but it's like looking for a black cat in a dark room, and when there's no cat in the room. That's what my professor used to tell me about conspiracy theories. But Devin Wade is like, this is black guy, and the cat from Luke Cage and Moonlight is plays his father when he was young, and becomes his high school coach. One of the coaches, that is, or like a defensive coordinator or some shit like that. And basically it channels, it follows this character as he tries to make it in the NFL after leaving Texas, after University of Texas with Longhorns, plays and become basically a long shot of making it into the NFL. That's what the whole premise of the show is. But I mean, the way they go into details, man, they did it was a really well done game mode. How in NBA 2K how they conduct their shit. It's not like where you're a white guy and you talk and they give you the voice of what an African American would sound like most of the time. This time you're just taking on the character, which is pretty cool. So you're just that guy. Everybody, you're not able to create yourself. You're just this person in particular. You just go through the story mode and see how things go. You got a good friend and the guy Colt, which is pretty cool, man. So his best friend is a white guy. They've known each other since they were kids, played football all the time, and you can decide whether you want to take Colt along with you, or if you want to just kind of brush him to the side. It's like a decision based outcome for the game. So I think a lot of gamers that have been playing Madden, I think they'll be into it. And even the women, excuse me, I almost said the females. I had to catch myself on that, Jasmine. But you got choices whether or not you want to take like I said, take your friend along, or if you want to be a part of this show, if you want to get this guy, like that's your agent or whatever. He's like an agent or the show promoter. You have a choice of getting him fired. So it's a good mode. I think everybody will dig it. Obviously, it's different from the actual game. There's certain features you have to do. You have to do like certain challenges. You basically become a part of a reality show, and you got to beat out 3 other quarterbacks. And I like this one segment that they do where he used to. The storyline is that he was in college at University of Texas. We went there. Football is very big in Texas, and everybody loves football. Even the women, they love the football. And he's listening to the radio, and they're talking about like the quarterback that's there now at his old high school, and they're just talking shit about him. He gets offended by it because of something that he went through, which you find out later on in the story. Yeah, these are all spoilers, so whoever's listening to this, I hope you get the game and you can see it for yourself. But it's a good. This is one of my favorite modes, I would say, to play as a gamer. Whenever I do get the time to do so. But Jeff, you haven't been much of a Madden player, right?
No, I'm not much of a Madden player.
Yeah.
I used to play back in the day, and I stopped playing it.
Yeah. Madden's been around for a long time. I remember my older cousins who were like born in like the late 70s playing John Madden football on a computer, and like in '89 and shit, and then like again my older cousins that are like brothers to me, playing like Madden 92, 93, and you had the 3 box squares to throw to with for Super Nintendo or Sega. A lot of people always wanted to choose Sega over Super Nintendo. I would say looking back, as far as like the difference between the game systems with Madden, like I liked the sound of Super Nintendo, and then I would like the gameplay.
There's no reason to play Madden if you had Blitz back in the day.
Yeah, well, that's all. That was PS1 shit though. Yeah, PS1 and 64. And those, that game that changed the game, man. There was a lot. There was one game, you remember Blitz back in the arcade. That's roughly where it got its start. And you were like, wow, man, I gotta get enough quarters to go play, to play Blitz and shit. Or what's the one shit that's not give and go, but damn, what's that fucking NBA game we used to play?
Arch Rivals.
Run and Gun. That's the name of it. Yeah.
Oh, I was like Arch Rivals.
No, that Arch Rivals was like early. That was the early '90s. But like Run and Gun, I used to my cousin, whenever I would visit him and we would go to like the mall and shit, they had that game at the arcade, and we would try to go. We'd always try to go there, try to play that shit, Run and Gun, and that would always be the game he would want to play. Mine was that the WrestleFest. Because I was a big Hogan fan, big ass Hogan fan. So I really wanted to play, anything with him or the Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior drew me in because he was crazy as hell, with his promotions and just the shit he would talk about, the power of the Warriors and all that. But his bright, the bright colors, yeah, it's like it. That's what he used to say, man. The power of the Warrior. Just a clown, bro. WrestleFest. What I'm saying, WrestleFest was a really good. I thought it was a really good game, but I wish it came out for like, Super Nintendo or Sega when we were coming up. It's so funny, man. Growing up, damn near, 30 plus now, and you're still into video games. I won't say I got as many as I did when I was a kid, but I still have that love for it, and what's now interesting is finding out that women, that are into video games, man. Like it's so that I always find very, very interesting. It's not very common, but I think it's pretty cool to some degree, because like I said, before on another podcast, I said that it just sounds weird just for a woman to say, okay, I'm gonna let you play your game. Like, what the fuck? You make me sound like a fucking 4-year-old, when you say that shit. I mean,
that's how it is.
What about you, Jeff, though, man? Because I know you a gamer too. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, I'm gonna let you in there playing his game. What the fuck?
Yeah, I hate when they say that. Like, he upstairs playing this game.
Yeah, I don't like to hear that shit. You know what? Even if I am doing the shit, I don't want to hear it. Okay, I don't want to hear that shit. Okay, it's an unspoken rule. He in there playing his game, and we'll leave it as such. We'll leave that as such. So for you, what game you been playing lately?
Mostly I just been playing Friday the 13th. I've been playing that. They got some DLC that came out recently. Made the stages shorter, so I've been playing Friday the 13th, and that's pretty much it. Dead. I went back to playing Guilty Gear, Earth Defense Force, Japanese game, and I just saw that Fist of the North Star is gonna have a game come out in Japan, so I'll probably get on that whenever it drops.
Okay. Cool. Me is NHL 17. I play that shit. That shit get me pissed off, but I love it to death, man. Hockey is like a game I'm learning basically through playing online. My buddy Bobby that lives in Connecticut, man, he taught me the game when we were playing online, and I just been in love with it ever since. So I think it's cool. I think hockey is a good game to play, video game wise, and it's fun to watch in person, man. If anybody ever get a chance to go see hockey, live in person, that shit is fast paced. You got to pay attention to see where that damn puck is, because you never know, it might end up in your lap or in your mouth. Get slashed through the glass, or it might flip over flip over the ring. It's I mean, it's very rare that happens, but it does happen. It's not as much as like going to a baseball game or something where if you don't look up, a foul ball may knock your ass clear out, you know, or land into your fucking beer cup and shit. You know, I mean, again, that itself is rare. You know, catching a baseball in your cup. But we want to talk about next. It's football season, right? So you know, football season's coming up. We got a week away from the start of the new season, and everyone's getting their their fantasy their fantasy football shit together. So Jeff, did you did your shit yet?
I have not signed up yet.
Yeah, we gotta figure something out.
I gotta get mine set up.
Yeah, because we battled it.
Lose again, so I can cut in second place. I'm tired of fucking second place, man.
I don't even know if I've won yet.
Every damn year, man, I'm getting fed up, man. I have to win this year.
Yeah, so we're gonna continuously go at it as we've done. I don't know, we've been playing this shit for like what, the last 7-8 years or something like that, man. It's been fun. It's just something we do as a family, but the fantasy football players this year. I mean, who you think is probably going to be one of the some of the people that they're going to want to have this year?
I do not really know, man. Like me myself, I'm gonna try to get. I don't need him, but I want beast mode because it's just me.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna try to get Carr for my quarterback.
What about little daddy from the Panthers, Christian McCaffrey, man?
Man, I'll see, man. I'll see what we do.
I think he might be all right, man. I'm looking forward to seeing him take the field. He's gonna change the game.
You know what? I'll never get good players, man. I gotta wait until I see somebody out in the field and then go grab somebody. I don't never start off with no. I be having some half-ass players every year, man.
Right.
I gotta do sneaky stuff, man. Wait for nobody not to be paying attention and shit. Start grabbing people.
Yeah. I think obviously Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, J.J. Watt, Richard Sherman. I'll pick Colin Kaepernick just in case that motherfucker get picked up. Just keep his ass on the bench, just waiting. We'll see what happens. Denver is talking about possibly picking him up. That's the most recent thing I heard, so that'll be interesting.
And it's all here, man. He broke the cardinal rule, man.
Yeah, you're not bigger. Basically, what that boils down to is you're not bigger than the shield. That's what they're trying to teach, man. And was it a good protest? Yeah, it was a great protest. If he did it like at the Super Bowl when the Ravens played the Niners, it probably would have more of an effect because that's just how people are, because they look at that like you need to stand. It's a way of telling you to stay in your place, as we've talked about many a times, man. But I don't know, Cap, keep that shit rolling. Who else is some good folks, man, to pick up in the draft? Dez Bryant. Yeah, you definitely want to look for Dez Bryant, Roethlisberger, even still Roethlisberger, of course, Tom Brady. If anybody drafts Edelman, you've been sadly misguided because he has a torn ACL and he is out for the season. So so if you end up drafting him, you might want to pass a trade or release to the free agency, whatever.
Who do you think gonna be the top defense this year, man?
The top defense this year will be the Giants.
Yeah, they've been.
The Giants, they picked up that fool that burned his hand off with the firecrackers. Jason Pierre-Paul. Old Jackass Joe is what we can call him. Who else is a good defense? The Raiders. I think the Raiders I think the Raiders defense will be good. Who else? Denver still got a nice defense. If you had to pick a specific player, I would go with Von Miller. Von Miller would be the guy that you want to get on your teams. That would be a good choice. Who else is a good choice? Don't pick any member of the 49ers. I'm a 49er fan. I'm telling you right now, if you get any 49er in your draft, you've been misguided. That's what we call that.
Misguided.
Yes, you've been misguided, or better known as my new term, McGregoried. You've been McGregoried if you get any Niner fan, any Niner player in your draft. Like, skip the fuck over. Do what you got to do. I don't know what's happening in the front office, but we got to get it together. That's all I do know. We have to get it together if we're going to be anything worth talking about. We just traded Vance McDonald to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a 4th round pick. You know, so I don't know. Maybe that'll help us out. We'll see. We'll see what happens. What else we wanted? I'll close on that other topic. Let me see. Okay, Karumbe. The WWE, man. You know, we've been watching this shit since we've been in diapers, man. So and I've been, you know, being big. You know, we've created the
praise
horse.
out to the Flair family. Praise out to the Flair family.
Exactly. You know, we've been 4 horsemen for the longest time, man. Obviously, I take on fucking Space Mountain is my alias. You dig? Space Mountain. So Ric Flair definitely, you know, it had me for a scare. You know, a couple weeks ago. So, you know, glad to see he's doing better. But what would you do to make the WWE better in your, I would say in your opinion, man, from watching the stuff that you have seen of recent?
Man, one thing I would do is I would make NXT its own show. I would just make, because there's a lot of good wrestlers that go to like Shinsuke Nakamura's not being used properly, and who else? What was the guy's name? He came from TNA, the short little guy. I can't think of his name now.
AJ Styles?
You said who?
AJ Styles?
Not AJ Styles. I like Bobby Roode too. I got a feeling they're not gonna use Bobby Roode right, which is gonna irritate me.
You know, I looked him up. You know, based off that last name, I had to look up and see if he was related to the King.
Rick Ravishing Roode?
Yeah, he's not though. He's his parents.
Nah.
Yeah, it's another Roode. He actually comes from a family of Roods, ROODE, I believe, or without the D, out the E, whatever.
Bobby Roode, he got that Ric Flair roll when he walk out, man. I'm telling you,
he's a beast. I mean, they always got the, what I could say about wrestling today versus of yesterday. They look the part now. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, with the machine weights enabling us to have a certain type of look to our bodies.
But you got like the Kevin, not really, because you got like the Kevin Owens. And,
well, Kevin Owens do look like he just. Kevin Owens looked like he did just get off of work from DirecTV and came into the ring and shit, man. You're right.
But I like that, man, because it's like, all right, you don't have to be.
Yeah, you don't. Dusty, like Dusty.
When's the last time you seen a tugboat? You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker like tugboat or Vader or Kevin Owens is like fucking Vader, man. To tell you the truth, he is that damn like nimble. He is a good ass villain. So I like Kevin Owens.
He moves. What do you think about Samoa Joe?
Oh, I like Samoa Joe. I always like Samoa Joe.
I haven't watched him closely.
He's gonna use him right, but
of course, that's expected with Vince.
And that's why I said they need to make NXT a separate show.
With Vince McMahon.
Leave some of those big characters there. Make it like an hour long. And you got 3 powerful shows.
I don't know, man. They gotta do something different. I wish they would have kept WCW. That'd be great.
Well, the best thing now is NWJP, hands down.
You think so?
New Japan Wrestling is the best thing right now.
I like that luchador shit.
No, it ain't luchador. I said New Japan Wrestling.
But I'm saying I like that luchador shit. That Raymond.
Lucha Underground. Underground be good too.
Yeah, like what is it? Rey Mysterio, and they got John. What's your man? John Morrison.
John Morrison just went over to TNA, so.
Oh damn! Well, they just fought. Shit. Rey Mysterio and John Morrison. So
Let's take like a season ahead or whatever. So.
Right. So it's like it's just exciting. You know what I'm saying? Like to see like the cruiserweights and stuff. Like I feel like WCW had the formula to that the WWE should have applied. WWE had the money, and the WCW had the ideas. For the most part,
they have a cruiserweight division, but it's not being used properly.
Yeah, exactly. And why are the ropes purple? Why the fuck do their ropes need to be purple?
Don't ask me, man. There's a lot of stuff.
What does purple have to do with the cruiserweight?
I wish that give it up to Triple H and let him do what he wants. Cause he been trying to do those things, and Vince McMahon won't let him do it, man.
Nope.
So,
cause that's what he do. That's how he get down.
That's what he do, and that's why a lot of people leave. Cause like Cody Rhodes and then they don't leave because of Triple H. They leave because of Vince McMahon. It's a big ass.
It is old ass.
Cause he's past like the knowledge of knowing what people want from wrestling now.
Yeah. Oh, he's just using an old model of how business was ran. But you got these new cats, man. You got your new jacks out here, man. Put them to work. You got to be smart. One rule in business, you got to be smart enough to hire somebody that knows something more than you do.
Yeah, but he's not using it. That's the craziest thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, for me, with the WWE, I'd basically mirror WCW to some degree. The cruiserweight division would be the cruiserweights. That would be like the beginning of the night. That'll be like the first matches. You come out and do your promos and shit like that for the main events, for the main matches that night in the beginning, like the first 10-15 minutes, have them come out, have the big guys talk. So like, what's the one cat that fought Brock Lesnar recently? And
Braun.
Yeah, that motherfucker there, dog. He's big as a bitch. I would have him come.
Carolina.
Yeah, have them come out and do their their promos, and then bring out your cruiserweights and shit like that. Then shoot backstage for like maybe like a I don't know, like a hot scene with like one of the divas or something like that. Keep them sexy though. That's what you want. You want to keep your viewers in there. You know what I'm saying? So keep it sexy, which is like a formula that WWE from the late '90s had. Keep that sexy, and then shoot to like, I don't know, maybe not like a hardcore event. Have like a hardcore event the next match, and shoot backstage for another promo. Have somebody get hit backstage, and
yeah, they don't do that kind of stuff no more, man.
No,
that's what
not at all.
They don't do like backstage jumping
and have a great build up. And just have a great build up, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need, like, what made NWA so great is the amount of attacks that they would have, you know what I mean? And the belt meant something, you know what I'm saying? Like, it meant something to be the WWE WWF, the WCW World Heavyweight Champion. Because like Flair would say in all the time in his interviews, he competed all over the world. He would go to Japan and defend this belt. He would go to different territories and defend this belt. Just make this thing mean something, man, and wear it with pride. Obviously, we're tired of seeing John Cena versus Randy Orton or John Cena versus.
Well, yeah, they do the same matches.
Yeah, it's like, like who's fighting? Like, come on, man. I still say to this day, Roman Reigns should have never talked on the microphone. You know how powerful Roman Reigns looks without saying anything. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not that great on the microphone. Let's just say the Shield was back together. You got those two who are good on the mic, and you just got Roman Reigns.
That's what they did with Brock Lesnar. They got a mouth for him. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. So you get somebody like Roman Reigns who just sits in the back. You know what I'm saying? And let people, obviously the women admire him. He's very easy on the eyes. You know what I'm saying? For like the ladies love him. Even my daughter. Thinks he's attractive and shit like that. And there's just, he has like a certain appeal. Obviously for the women, and then like his moves or whatever, that spear, it's a dope spear. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody's got Rhino. I think Rhino spear is
Rhino shit is.
Rhino spear is nasty.
Better though, man.
Edge too. Edge got a nice spear too, but Goldberg obviously gets the credit for it. But I like Edge and Rhino spear is a good a good spear. But what I'm saying is have Roman in the background. And let Seth and my man, what's the other cat name, man, from the Shield?
You talking about
Dean Ambrose.
Ambrose.
Yeah, have them talk and just have Roman Reigns in the back like doing that, that sinister smile and laugh shit. You remember how?
I think they already turned Roman Reigns. Because people hate him so much, you might as well make him a villain.
That's what I'm saying. So why not be that? You gotta embrace that shit, like The Rock did. I think that was if The Rock had never went heel, we would not be talking about him right now. I promise you. There would be no movie deals. He just been a flash in the pan. He'd have been like the fucking what's the one of them guys? He'd be like Bart Gunn. Like, when the last time you heard a motherfucker talk about Bart Gunn?
What, Badass Billy Gunn?
No, that's Billy Gunn. I'm talking about Bart, his fucking, talking about his fake ass brother. You know what I mean? Like, how you gonna have a brother and then you join the DX and we don't hear shit about you anymore? You know what I'm saying? That's how that works. You know, you got to be able to thrive on your own. Like, I would say, even for a little bit, Big Papa Pump and Rick Steiner, they held their own. You know what I'm saying? Rick Steiner was you know, I think he had I would say a personality that was, you know, that you talk about, you know, he was the bulldog or whatever with it. So yeah, I thought I like that tag team. That tag team was great. You know, some of the better tag teams. You know, Steiner brothers.
And Scott Steiner's like, man, when he went on his own, he got big. He went crazy, man.
He's still nutty. He's still nutty as shit.
He crazy as hell. He ain't got no sense.
They nutty as fuck, man. What else we want to talk about here before we get out of here? Okay, yeah, Jeff. I mean, you being a married man and me being single, we can give like the two roughly perspectives of what led you to feel like you were ready, and then I can talk about why I would feel I'm not ready just yet. But why are we not ready to commit? I would say, commonly, why are we not ready to commit in a relationship as men?
You think you're missing something? A lot of it is like a lot of men think they miss something like out there.
Right.
Like, that's kind of what it is, man. Like I don't know.
Well,
certain men got like a checklist, and once they reach that checklist, they're like, all right, I did everything now.
You know what's funny, man? As you get older, you know, me being 31, I'll be 32 next in a couple weeks actually. So people look forward to that. You know, September 20th. That is you know, a great man was born. You know, so definitely you know, keep that date on your calendar. But I would say for me, when you're not taught how to deal with certain scenarios, you know, as far as like to deal with like handle a woman's emotions and, you know, her wants and more so what you should want in life. You know, you pretty much go out there, you go out in the life, you know, you turn 18, you go out in the world, you pretty much try to figure the shit out for yourself. And when you were like a perfectionist, in my mind, which is damn near impossible to be because no one is perfect, but in your mind you feel like, you know, you're a perfectionist and everything must be done delicately and must be done right. So you tend to I don't know, pull yourself back a little bit, and you find yourself missing out on a lot of things, man. You know, there's been plenty of times where I've missed opportunities with certain women in my life, but everything happens for a reason. There's, you know, God don't make mistakes. So everything that has happened was supposed to happen, is how I see it. And, you know, it was all everyone in my past has prepared me for my future. So whoever indeed that young lady is that I will commit to will definitely be you know, she definitely will be blessed. Definitely will be blessed and treated as she should. As you know, I believe I've treated you know, most of the women in my past with the amount of respect that they deserve, and to some degree. I mean, you know, stepping out in your relationship is definitely nothing to boast about or brag about or anything to be proud of. But, you know, it's growing pains. You know, it's something that you go through and you try to learn. You know, you learn from it and realize why you did certain things. And what it boils down to is you're just not ready. And I just advise anyone, whether male or female, that if you're not ready for something, you probably shouldn't do it, because you're going to find yourself in a position where you I don't know, you feel forced, you feel trapped or something like that. You're going to end up doing some shit that you shouldn't be doing. So it's just best to like stay, you know, stay to yourself for a little while. It's all right to date, you know what I mean? But I would say just take your time with that. You know what I mean? Take your time. It's all right to say no. This isn't for me, because you're ultimately the one that's got to live with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be like for instance, man, you were fortunate enough to marry your best friend. You know what I'm saying? So whatever, you know what I'm saying, you're going through, that person understands it, and vice versa. So and like you guys get all the same, you know, the jokes and shit like that. You guys rock with the same shit. So I mean, it's very I would say we're very fortunate to meet someone that you actually can, you know, just bond with like such, man. So I mean, there are a lot of people, like you said, you know what I'm saying, that just feel like they are, you know, they're missing something, and like something's gonna come along and they're just not gonna, and they want to make themselves available to do so. And then there's others that have never been taught, and then you have that fear, you know, because you don't know something, that you try to, I don't know. You try to, make I won't say to make the best decision, but just you put yourself in a position where you don't want to make a mistake or look silly and shit. You know, you tend to worry about that. But the new mentality I have is like, we have to be ourselves and have the courage to be ourselves, and just, you know, people that are for you, they'll rock with you, and if anyone else that doesn't, then fuck them. You know, pretty much what how we live in these days. But yeah, man. That's pretty much all we only got on that topic. Yeah, Jeff, man. Like, before we get out of here, anything you wanna talk about?
Not really, man. I was trying to see how that little Uzi Vert album sounded.
Yeah.
If you got some comments about it, leave some in the descriptions below.
Yeah, no doubt.
How it sounds for you.
Yeah.
If you like it, if you don't like it, what tracks are hot. Because I didn't been debating on like purchasing it. So that's one of the things that's been on my mind. I know Don Tripp had something come out lately. I'm always a supporter of Don Tripp.
How you feel about Vic Mensa?
He said what?
How you feel about Vic Mensa?
I really don't listen to him.
Okay, I mean, Charlemagne praises him, his music very highly. I've never listened to him. Yeah, I downloaded a little Uzi Vert shit, and but he's definitely not my music, but I do respect his craft because of his creativity and uniqueness, man. Like, I love him because he's an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's his own shit. There's nobody that sounds like his shit. You know what I mean? It's not like you're gonna find, like, it's easy to compare Future with the Migos. You know what I'm saying? Or Travis Scott, because their sound is so similar. But, you know, like, yeah, Uzi is like his own shit, such as Jeezy was. Like, Jeezy was so unorthodox with his delivery that at first I didn't care too much for him, but my boy Ashton would play his shit out, you know, when we used to be in the dorms. So in the military. So, and then eventually when I got deployed to the Middle East, I listened to, I just happened to see that album in the shop. Was it the BX? Yeah, the BX. And I worked out to it, and I was like, man, I really do love this shit. You know, like that fucking gangster music. That was the track that made me love Jeezy.
Today, man, don't get me started.
Yeah, gangster music was my shit. I'm here now, you old news. Got a couple Porsche trucks, couple old schools.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was my shit, man. You know, still to this day, it never gets old. It never gets old hearing that shit.
I was listening to that album today, man.
Yeah, him, Shawty Red. What's the other cat that produced for him, man? God damn it, what the fuck is his name?
Manny Fresh had one.
Manny Fresh. My nigga, the one that did Shawty by fucking Plies or whatever. He did it. It's the same cat. Drummer Boy, right? Yeah, Drummer Boy, man. I don't know where he been, but it was he had some good work, you know, in the mid, whatever you want to call them, thousands or early 2000s.
Yeah.
I don't know how you call that shit, man. But it was, you know, it was good. It was good, bro. You know, it was. I like that. I like that shit. Just thinking who's coming out. You know, anything else that's coming out. When the fuck we gonna get a great R&B year? We need a good we need some R&B classics. You know.
Good luck with that shit.
Yeah. You know, I don't want that sex music. I want some R&B classics. You know what I'm saying? Give me some classics. And that'd be great.
You can get your boy kidnap music.
Yeah. Trey Songz try to come out with shit. All he do that sex music. We tired of that shit now. Tank, come on now. Come on, Tank. Tyrese, y'all need to put y'all fucking differences aside. Come out with some TGT shit. Tyrese, get your ego down so we can get this shit going. We love your music.
Hey, you get that Fast and Furious money, man. That ego ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
That shit ain't going nowhere, man.
Yeah, he on some.
Funny as shit was when Rock was talking about his fucking forehead though in that movie.
Yeah, he said, yeah. He said, he got that big ass forehead. Yeah, like that. That shit is stupid. That was improv. And that was all. The funny part, that was improv. That was all.
That was improv. You gotta understand, he is one of those people you probably don't want to joke with.
That shit is funny. That motherfucker's funny, man. They said, do you like Poo-Tang pie? You know, his promo, by far the funniest promos. I think Ric Flair, I would say between Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, and Billy Graham, they cut the best promos.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know, because I like, my best promos is probably some Rock promos. He got some stupid ones, some Ric Flairs.
Yeah.
Macho Man, the cream.
Yeah.
Cream of the crop. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, I got a couple cream. Yeah, I was watching McGregory. I was watching McGregory and Mayweather in the ring, and he did the hammer punch, and I say, ooh yeah, I said it, ooh yeah.
Yeah, they gonna get going off.
I was like, wow, man. But yeah, Macho Man. I mean, of course, I give it the Ultimate Warrior, even though I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. But as a kid, you know, that shit looked amazing. You know, talking about the two pilots shoving him into the nosedive and all that shit. That crazy.
I gotta send you the best Ultimate Warrior. They put all of it in like one clip and it like blends together because there's so much greatness.
That's retarded.
Man, it's good.
That's retarded, man. But
I like Ric Flair though, man. He be calling people fat boy all the time.
He's an idiot. He called that woman fat. He's like, yeah, okay, I'll go over there and kiss that one and that one right there, that fat one. You know, the fuck, Rick, man. Idiot, bro.
That dude, Ric Flair was so crazy, man. He's so crazy that he was like, yeah, your mom rode Space Mountain, but guess what, baby? You can ride tonight. I'm like, God dang, bro.
It's too funny.
He just don't care.
That is too funny, man. But yeah, Karumbe, man, you know, before we get out of here, obviously anybody want to get to Karumbe, you got to go through me, Romy Mac, so be sure.
Go through him. Well, you actually can probably reach me on PlayStation Network.
Oh, you trying to bust ass with that you trying to bust ass on the game and shit.
Get your ass whipped.
Yeah, Deacon.
Real
So
quick
PS, so the PlayStation Network, Deacon Balls.
Yep.
Check him out. Check me out on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram at ROMEY_MAK for, you know, Romy Mac. But we appreciate everybody listening in. This is Romy Mac and Karumbe, and this is Romy Mac 2 Cents presents The Locker Room, and we done. Peace.